All right, good evening, Wilmington. Today is March 10th, Monday, March 10th, 2025, and this is the Public Safety Committee meeting. I'm Councilwoman Yolanda McCoy. First, I would like to start at this time by calling the roll for the members of the committee. All right, Councilman Spadola. Is he on it? No, he's not in. Councilwoman Bracy asked to be excused. I just said your name. Thank you for arriving. All right, Councilwoman Darby. Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Councilwoman Oliver.
Present.
And President Congo.
Here.
Okay. All right. Is there any other council persons that are on Zoom or here within our audience? Nope. Is that it? Okay, good. All right. Okay, so we have a nice agenda today. We have 4 items. And we will be starting now. I'm going to go a little out of order. Let me see. You know what? Let's see whether or not we can go ahead and take care of how you feel about going first.
Sure.
All right. See, I'm trying to be nice today. All right. Councilman Spadola, so would you mind speaking to the matter of a resolution requesting a cost-benefit analysis on the viability of take-home vehicle program for the Wilmington Police Department?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. So this resolution is asking the administration to look into, do a cost-benefit analysis on the viability of providing Wilmington Police Department officers with a take-home vehicle, as many departments throughout the state do. Newcastle County, Newark, State Police. I was just reading an article about a handful of much smaller police departments down south, Cheswold, Milford, that also offer take-home vehicles. And I think there's a twofold purpose. One, first and foremost, it's a recruitment and retention issue, I think. When there's smaller agencies offering a benefit that a larger agency isn't, I think, that can harm recruitment. I just saw Newcastle County hired 2 Wilmington officers. I saw, and of course, Newcastle County offers a take-home program. So there's the recruitment and retention side, but also I think 95% of city residents are happy to see a police department vehicle parked on their street, whether they live nearby or they're just driving by. I think it's a crime deterrent. So I think and it's something I've spoken about since I've been on council. I brought it up. Not as officially as this, but I thought it would be good with the changing of the guard to get it on paper, and for the administration to really look into it. You have the cost, of course, of the vehicles, but you also have to. What the administration also would have to be cognizant of is the cost of losing the officers and then having to retrain them. And of course, not everybody's leaving just because Wilmington doesn't offer a take-home vehicle. But I think, the salary and benefits, it's a package. It's not just any one thing. So I think this is something that is worthy of the administration looking into. And I think by council supporting this or not, we could, the administration, it could give the program a shot in the arm if the administration saw that council thinks it's a good idea. And so that's where I'm at.
Okay. Thank you. Does any of my colleagues have any questions? All right, Councilwoman Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What about the officers? Okay, well, that wouldn't pertain to them. Okay. I was going to say, what about the officers who don't live in the city? But
Yeah. If I could.
What about the officers who don't live in the city?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Please.
I know, for example, in Newark, you don't have to live in the city. And I think a lot of departments come up with a policy that if you don't live in the city, you can only live 5, 10 miles, 25 miles outside the city. I think, especially now that the police department does not have a residency requirement, that is something the administration could could use as a carrot in terms of maybe the take-home vehicles are only offered to keep officers in the city. I think something is better than nothing.
Right.
And so if that's where the administration ended up with it, I'd say that's a good start. So I appreciate that comment because I was going to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we were thinking the exact same thing because I was like, it should just be offered as a way to recruit and to see whether or not we can keep some people in the city. I think that'd be a better idea. All right. So was there any other comments or questions about the resolution? Okay. All right. Well, seeing that there's none, thank you, Councilman Spadola. And it looks like we will be bringing this to the floor for floor vote on April 3rd. April 3rd is correct, Kendra?
Let me double.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. I said it does not need to be voted out of the committee. So that was it. We will go ahead and move on to the next item. I like the idea. It's all about cost. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That was quickly. All right. So now I would like to go ahead and move forward with the ordinance. An ordinance to authorize and approve an agreement between the City of Wilmington and Axon Enterprise, Inc. for interview room equipment and related services. And who's going to come and speak to this ordinance? All right. Hello, gentlemen.
Good evening, Madam Chair,
Good evening.
Council President Congo, and council members. I am going to have Dr. David Karras, our Director of Policy and Communications, present on this ordinance. He's been working diligently on it, and he'll take it away.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, everyone. So this is an ordinance to approve a multi-year contract and an agreement with Axon Enterprise, and this would support technology for interview rooms that are maintained by our Criminal Investigations Division and our Office of Professional Standards or Internal Affairs. So the total amount of the contract is $138,324 spread over 5 years, which comes out to about $27,665 per year. That would cover all the rooms in our Criminal Investigations Division and our interview room in our Internal Affairs Office. And the reason that we're looking at Axon for this equipment is the current system that we have has a lot of software issues and technical failures, so we have to down rooms or not use certain rooms and use others instead. This would allow us to replace this equipment with state-of-the-art microphones and cameras, and then it also has full integration with Evidence.com, which is the same platform that Axon provides as part of our body-worn camera and taser program. So there's a lot of good synergy with the same software platform. All the video files would be in the same location, and we can help use those to prepare for trials, prosecutions, etc.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions? All right, Councilman Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is not a grant, this is the fiscal impact?
Yes, ma'am. We do have this money in our budget already. So there would be no additional fiscal impact beyond spending budgeted funds.
Did you need to follow?
No, thank you, I'm sorry.
Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. So my question is, I just wanted to find out. Well, I am glad. I wanted to say that I am glad that you actually went ahead and got a 5-year contract. Those 1-year extension type thing, whatever, to drive me crazy. But wanted to find out about when do we actually acquire this equipment initially that we've actually have to change over to Axon? Do you know?
The system that we have, it's been in place a long time.
It's a long time?
Probably outdated, and that's why we need to replace it. I can't even give you a year. I know it's
more
been
than a decade?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, do you have any confidence on the equipment that you will be changing it out for, that you can build onto it, that it will not become obsolete and have to be rechanged out after 5 years?
Yes, and it does come with technical support. There are upgrade opportunities down the road if new equipment arises, but it's a relatively simple system. It's just a matter of having good, reliable cameras and microphones that are going to be probably at least a decade newer than what we're currently using. So I think we'll see some immediate improvement and a lot more reliability, at least for the 5 years and probably for much more.
Okay.
I have another question.
All right, thank you.
One more question.
All right. Councilman Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So how many rooms would you say to purchase interview room equipment? So this is for one room?
It's a total of 6 rooms, 5 in our detectives
I think
division
I
and then
saw
1
that.
in our internal affairs.
Okay, I think I did see that. So all 6 rooms will get overall updated?
Yes.
Okay.
Senior budget, they ain't bothering nobody's money ahead of y'all.
All right. Okay, the other question I had was just wanted to make certain that this, it says related services. I think I've already had this conversation with Dr. Karras about other portions that go along with this, about, I guess, camera, video storage and things of that nature. All these other things are part of the related services.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's the same shared platform that we use for all of our digital evidence and for all the body-worn camera footage, and then in taser downloads and anything like that. So any of that data is all in the same spot. Axon's the same company that other departments throughout Delaware use for body-worn cameras as well. So evidence.com is a platform that can be used to share footage and other files with prosecutors as well. So there's a lot of good synergy with adopting this platform for our interview rooms as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, you did explain that to me, and I'm glad that we're actually being a little bit more consistent about the types of software that we're using. That it will, be able to. We won't have to be doing a bunch of interchanging. Okay. All right. So, well, that was basically all the question that I had. Was there any questions for any of my colleagues online? Okay. All right. So, is there any questions from? Got to ask about the public the last time. Is there any questions from the public? Anyone have any comments? All right. So seeing that there is none, this actually is an ordinance that needs to be voted from council. If I can get a motion to move this to the out of the Public Safety Committee.
So move.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion has it. So we will be, okay, will this actually go on to the council on April 3rd as well? I'm just, because I don't see that one, on this ordinance.
Yes.
Okay, Will? Okay, great. All right. So we'll get a chance to vote for this at the full council on April 3rd. All right, I do have one more thing from Wilmington Police Department. Looks like we do have another resolution. Well, we have a resolution approving the Office of Emergency Management grant application to the Delaware Emergency Management Agency for funds allocated pursuant to the fiscal year 2024 Emergency Management Performance Grant. Okay, and who's to speak to that?
That would be Director Patrick, but I don't see him.
He
Ah.
is online.
Oh, he's online?
So
Okay.
accept the panelist invitation.
Oh, okay, so did he just arrive?
He just crossed over to the panelist.
Okay, great. Okay. Oh, you know what?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, thank you. Also, I said Chief Campos and Dr. Garrett. See, I was just about to ask. I'm like, are you still sitting for this one? So this
For-
is just for, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Then you may be excused.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the rest of your evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, is Mr. Patrick available? Is he online?
I am.
Okay, great. All right. If you like, I can go ahead and restate what the resolution is. It is approving the Office of Emergency Management grant application to the Delaware Emergency Management Agency for funds allocated pursuant to the fiscal year 2024 Emergency Management Performance Grant. All right, Mr. Patrick, if you can please speak to this matter.
Yes. First of all, let me apologize. I had a Newcastle County LAPC meeting that ran a little long, right? So I was trying to gauge my time, right? But it did run long, so please forgive me, because I would love to been there in person. But this is our annual grant, the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Purpose of the grant is for administration and operations of the Office of Emergency Management. The funds, the matching funds. This is a grant that requires a 50% match. The great thing is that the funds are allocated the matching funds are allocated from our existing journal fund, our professional services, and which is salary and benefits, and then MSNE. So there is no real fiscal impact for this grant.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions about this resolution? I do realize, I'm sorry, I do realize this is a grant, but I just wanted to make certain that we have a little bit more information about what the grant was. You said the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Is there some type of example of what those things are used for? Because I do know that we get it every year.
Yes, Madam Chair. So just like I stated, so the grant is used for the administration and operation of the Office of Emergency Management. So it's salaries, benefits, and it keeps the lights on, it keeps the heat and the air conditioning running. Because last year was a lean year for EMPG, there are no special projects in this grant. It's just for the basic administration of the Office of Emergency Management.
Okay. Thank you for making that clear. All right. So was there anyone who had any questions about this resolution? Okay. All right. And is there anyone, any of my colleagues online?
No,
Or anyone from the public?
no hands are raised.
Okay. All right. So well, thank you very much, Mr. Patrick, for coming to present. Since this is a resolution, we will not need to vote it out of the Public Safety Committee, and we will get a chance to vote for it in front of council on April 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. All right. And we have one more thing on our agenda. And this is something that we actually had pushed back from last month. So I'm so glad that Chief Looney did agree to come back before us and actually do a more thorough presentation. So this presentation, it is a discussion of the Wilmington Fire Department regarding diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, accreditation and assessment, compensation and accountability, community outreach and public safety, youth engagement programs, recruitment and retention, vacant leadership positions, EMS and ambulance services. So it's going to take, I guess we're going to have a discussion about all those different things. Thank you, Kendra, for making this agenda more thorough, but you may not have to type as much next time. All right, Chief Looney, the floor is yours.
All right. Good evening,
Good evening.
Madam Chairwoman McCoy, President Congo, and all other council members. Good evening, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity. Our diversity training, has the department conducted any diversity training? If so, when and what detail?
You'll have to tell
Oh, it's right. I didn't see it up there. I'm sorry.
They'll have to advance.
I'm sorry, resolution for what? There's no resolution. This is just a presentation. Okay. Yeah. Pardon me. You may continue.
We can move on to the next slide. There we go.
Okay.
All right. The department, as of this date, has not offered diversity training. Our training unit has been tasked with scheduling such training through human resources. However, most recently, all personnel attended harassment training offered by Human Resources, and it was conducted by an external legal firm. The training included elements of diversity, equity, inclusion. As the question, is there a plan to hire a diversity and race officer? Not at this time.
Okay.
Next.
If I may pause, I just want to make certain that the public are aware that we actually gave Chief Looney quite a few questions that we would like to get answers from. So this is what he's actually answering. Each of these questions were asked by council members, so we wanted to make certain that he had the time to research and bring this information back. So thank you.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Recruitment. Currently, the department does not have a dedicated recruitment unit. Recruitment team was established several years ago, consisting of administrative staff, fire prevention staff, and personnel from suppression that expressed an interest in recruitment. The department is recruiting year-round through our independent website, WilmingtonDEFirecareers.com, visiting high schools, colleges, attending community resource fairs, social media, and advertising via billboards throughout the city of Wilmington, along with our ride-along program, which has been very successful. We also, on the city website that's there all year round, is an interest card. Anyone that's interested in becoming a firefighter can go to the city webpage, and there's a tab at the top that says, how can I do, say join our Explorer post or interest in fire department. That tab's there, and they can fill out an interest card. And once we begin our hiring process, we reach out to everyone, both via email, that has submitted our interest card. And we had several hundred that were submitted throughout this year, and all several hundred were contacted by our training unit via email, letting them know that the hiring process was getting ready to begin.
Yeah.
This process that we have right now, we currently have 156 applicants that the process has just ended.
Okay. I just want to make you aware that because we do have a longer presentation, if there's anything that you needed to ask a question about, you can go ahead and ask before. Yeah.
Sure.
So if you would like. Okay. Councilman Oliver has a question.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. As far as the recruitment, could you, could you explain why? I mean, I've heard what you just said, but I just wanted to hear it from your mouth. Why do you think it's not important for you to have a recruiter? And I'm saying this as I stated to the chief, especially when the count is so low when you're trying to do a lot of recruitment. So my question is, why do you think it's not important for you to have a recruiter, even with the additional information that you do have available for as a city webpage, et cetera?
Actually, we're not in a position to add more staff that would be designated just for as a recruitment officer. Not at this time. I'm not in a position to fill or add positions.
Yes, you may follow.
Well, we have the budget coming up there, and you said we're not in a position. What do you mean by we're not in a position? We're not in a position to...
There was no request put in for that additional personnel to be a recruitment officer.
Madam Chair, would you mind if I?
Oh, yes,
Excuse
please.
me, let me finish with
Oh,
my
no,
question
when
for a
you're done.
second.
Absolutely.
The only reason why I'm asking, because I know this is the budget time, so this would be the time. That's why I thought they asked all these questions. So this may be something you may want to consider.
Oh, I do know the importance of having such.
Okay. And if you would mind introducing yourself, and then you can go ahead
Absolutely. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephanie Merkler. I'm sure that the fire chief would have certainly put that position in. Unfortunately, we would not have approved it this year, given budgetary constraints and the pressures that are probably facing our residents due to reassessment. However, we can certainly consider it in the next budget year. Our position on this is that we would like it to be a citywide type of position that would probably be housed in real estate and housing rather than specifically dedicated to fire. But they could support fire and all other departments, as we have recruitment and retention issues citywide.
May I follow up?
Oh, yes, Councilwoman Oliver.
Ms. Mills, so you're saying that you're speaking for the mayor to say that you do know automatically that position is not even a conversation?
We are limiting the number of new positions this year due to budgetary constraints.
Okay, which ones are you eliminating?
Well, we are limiting the number of new positions. We would not have allowed for creation of new positions.
Now, that's crazy, but go ahead, keep going, we'll let you go, because what's the purpose of this meeting?
All right. So,
Next slide, please.
yes, please.
Can you provide a written process outlining how the department works to retain employees? Currently, no process has been developed. Strategies would likely involve collective bargaining negotiations. Is there a plan to hire a recruitment and retention officer? No, not at this time.
Okay. All right, I do have a question about the retention. So you said that there's been no, I guess, hold on. All right, so you don't really have a process outlining how you're going to deal with retention. But how do we deal with not only just retention, but attrition as people are basically finally aging out of the fire department, as you know, is to no one's fault of their own and no one's fault. They're now at a place where they're like, you know what, I can move on. I've done my 20 whatever years.
Right.
So how do you feel that retention is not important enough? The retention and recruitment is not important enough in order to consider hiring an officer at this time.
Retention is very important to me, and it's important to all these, all the public safety professions. But currently at this time, I'm not in a position to add staff. With the retention, we've had resignations, and that's been brought up in prior meetings. We've had resignations from some of our employees that have gone on to other departments, have chose other professions, have also, decided to, as I said, take up another profession and go to other departments. And it's been a diverse group of firefighters, both male and female, that have either resigned or in some cases, some have to be or were terminated due to not meeting their probationary requirements.
Okay. All right, and so just to be clear, the comment that you made, and also our deputy, chief of staff. Yes. Okay, the deputy chief of staff was making is that at this time, administration is limiting the creation of new positions. Is
Yes,
what you're
ma'am.
saying. Okay. All right. Okay, you can please go to the next slide.
Next slide, please. The hiring process, written examination testing, firefighter aptitude and character test. Have these tests been evaluated for bias and/or appropriateness to the current needs of the fire department? Our last 4 hiring processes, the written test was administered by a Fire and Police Selections Incorporated, a third-party vendor. FPCI, or Fire and Police Selections, follows the federal uniform guidelines on employee selection procedures. The test has been assessed and validated. Our consensus with the test has yielded higher diversity than traditional cognitive tests that the department has utilized in the past.
Okay. I'm not certain whether or not, is this the where the question was? Oh, I'm sorry. I think it may be a little further back because there was some type of evaluation that they were asking whether or not you would consider another form of some other form. I don't know whether or not it was the accreditation or this. I got to go back and look at my notes. Okay, so that's further back. Okay, thank you.
Good. Next slide, please. The admin compensation. This is per the collective bargaining agreement, the current collective bargaining agreement as of this date. Next slide, please.
Wait a minute.
I mean, let me, Madam Chair, might I say something? I'm gonna let you finish, because I mean, what's the purpose of this? If it's no, I mean, on 5 pages, everything's no.
Right.
So you send these questions. I mean, it's like you could have just send an email on this. I mean, just to be honest.
I really wanted to make certain that we actually had gotten a chance to get research done and be able to come up with the answers, because Chief Looney is unable to answer a lot of these questions on his own. He has to get permission, or he has to have those conversations with admin. I do realize that they're in their contract time frame, but this right here is something that I'm really not familiar with. I understand that this is part of the collective bargaining agreement.
Yes.
But I don't understand it, is what I'm saying. So how is it that, like, what does this mean? 96 hours, but only required to work 8. I don't understand what that means.
In all respect, I don't want to get into discussing the collective bargaining agreement. We're in open investigations. We're in open negotiations right now. And to explain this, I don't want to, be a detriment to those negotiations.
Is there anything?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
I was-
If I just from my experience with unions, It simply states in the contract based on who asked the question in the first place. Where are these questions coming from?
These questions came from another council person, and I went ahead and forwarded this information so that we can get these answers for them.
I think it just means in black and white what it says. If they're paid for 96 hours, but they just need to work 80. That's just
Their schedule is an 80-hour work week, and the agreement that is currently in place, their salary is based on get paid for 96 hours.
Madam Chair, may I follow up?
Yes, you might, Councilman.
No, I'm not going to get into that, but that is a question, but it's part of the, I guess, bargaining collective agreement. I mean, I don't know where the question came from, but I just never heard anybody working 96 hours, but they only required to work 80 hours, but you can't talk about it. I guess you can't talk about it.
I said the vice chair basically stated, I guess, that it's as simple as how it's read.
Right.
I really, that's it.
and I'm just totally speculating.
Yeah,
Chief
okay.
Looney doesn't get paid overtime. It's part of his job. He gets called out at 3 a.m. He's just eating that. And I'm guessing there's, whenever that was negotiated into the contract years ago,
Okay.
that was the thought process, that because they're doing extra duty off hours, it's just built in.
Well, Madam Chairman, could we let Chief Looney, since he's the chief, can he answer some of these questions? Or again, what is the purpose of sending the questions over and he can't answer none of them? I'm just asking the chair.
Well, this one actually.
I can understand that one, but I mean, all of them put in the
I
chair.
understand, Councilwoman Oliver. Now, this one is something that it was specifically says about the collective bargaining agreement.
get that
doesn't
one.
say
I
that
get
on the
that
other
one.
ones.
And also, Chief Looney it's Charlotte Barnes, the city HR person, negotiating with the unions.
I know, Madam Chair, may I speak?
Ma'am?
No, go ahead, continue, but we do have to have a point of order here. We're supposed to be asking
I
to
know,
speak
but
and
we've
not-
all been
not just
talking
talk.
over each other quite
No,
a
I'm
bit.
asking you, I'm
All right,
asking
so
you, can I speak?
Councilman Oliver.
Thank
okay.
you. No, I'm asking you, I have the floor, and we have a council person just talking over there, and he's maybe saying the right thing, but I'm just trying to keep some
I
order.
was jumping in because you.
I know, I did,
Yes.
but that was once. I'm just trying to keep some order here, that's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, so the admin compensation, we're past that. We can go on to the next one. Perhaps at some point, someone can give me a little bit more clarity, but yeah, I really didn't understand what that meant. Thank you. Going for the next slide.
Okay.
Chief Looney?
Why hasn't the department conducted a self-assessment by the Center for Public Safety Excellence Commission on Fire Accreditation in International? Our department does not have the finances to staff or support an accreditation process. The fire department is evaluated annually by the Insurance Services Office, ISO, on the way we respond to life safety and property issues. The city in August of 2024 received a Class 2 excellent rating as per fire suppression rating schedule. The rating has direct effect on property and casualty insurance, including both personal and commercial. This evaluation provides objective, countrywide standard that helps the fire department in planning and budgeting for equipment, training, and fire prevention programs. So instead of an accreditation, this is what we have concentrated on because it has a direct impact on all of our businesses and all of our residents.
Okay, and so you basically stated that you don't have the finances or the staff to support the accreditation. Did you ever take a look at to see exactly what that cost would be?
I have looked.
Okay.
And it's, for one, with the accreditation process, we would have to have a dedicated staff
Okay.
to conduct that. It's a approximately 2-year process. Initially, I do believe it's $14,000 to start this process, and then it's an ongoing accreditation for the duration. But it would require staffing more than one person and at a higher rank than a firefighter, an officer rank.
Okay. So, are there any okay, I do realize that we have very few volunteer firefighters within the state, as we had previously, more people are getting paid. Wanted to find out a little bit about the accreditation portion, as Wilmington would probably be the first ones to get paid. Like, why would this be so instrumental? Like, why is it so important that this question was asked? What do you know about accreditation that you feel like they are requiring this?
Well, I know that the only department currently in Delaware is the Dover Air Base, their fire department. All the departments that surround us, Camden, Philly, DC, Baltimore, I know they concentrate on that ISO rating. Accreditation, yeah, it definitely looks your department over, front to back. Would it be achievable at some later date when we have the ability to bring on more staff and have the resources? It may have a place.
I said, you may, Councilman Oliver, you can ask your question.
Thank you. Commissioner Looney, how long have you been a firefighter in the period?
31 and a half years.
How long have you been working for the city of Wilmington?
31 and a half years.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, before you continue, I believe Council President Congo had a question.
Okay, yes. Please, President Congo, your question?
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I lowered my hand. My question was answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I just the reason why I was asking the questions, I just wanted to find out exactly what was like with the accreditation by having this here for the city and for the firefighters. What did that actually mean? Even though I do realize that you said you need more than one staff person, and it's a 2-year process. By having it here, what actually would that mean for the city of Wilmington?
There would be there's no financial benefit to the department or the city once we go through an accreditation. We would be amongst other, I think there's approximately 300 other departments throughout the country that have achieved this accreditation, both small and large departments.
Okay. All right. Then, we can go on. We can move to the next. Okay.
Next slide.
Yes, please.
Employee comment or climate survey. The department has not prepared one at this time, but we are considering it since it was brought to our attention.
All right. So, so this climate survey, would this be? I think that we may actually have to do more than a consideration, only because of the fact that the nature of the questions that have been brought to us, as if there is actually some questions about, these accreditations, promotions, and things of that nature. We just want to make certain that we have what we need in order to retain firefighters. So I think that it is important that we actually have a climate survey to see how we are when it comes to our firefighters and how they are. We know that they are enjoying their job because this is a dangerous job and they're still here, but we just want to make certain that we provide an environment that they can thrive in.
And we will put that together. We'll do some research and get a.
No, may I follow up?
Oh, yes.
No, I was going to say, I think you hit it on the nerves that, this is really inexpensive for an employee climate survey, so that should be something simple. I'm glad you mentioned it. If they like their job, I don't see anything wrong with a survey. As a matter of fact, maybe we'll talk to the law department about putting in a piece of ordinance just to get a survey. Thank you.
All right. And we can go ahead and go to the next slide, please.
Can the department share its schedule in advance with City Council regarding planned walkthroughs to distribute smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors? We will notify the respective council person where the event is taking place. Will they cover all 8 districts? Yes. We make every effort over the last 5 years, once we partnered with American Red Cross for the sound the alarm vent to make sure we're hitting all our areas throughout the city. And in the past 5 years, we've done a total of 4,600 smoke detectors have been installed by our firefighters, our men and women, over the past 5 years. In the last meeting, I also mentioned about this smoke detector hotline, and I pass that information on to council, the actual number where you can call our fire prevention division.
Okay. So my question, Chief, is you said you'll notify the respective council person where the event is taking place. Are you doing any type of coordinating with the council person, with the council, to figure out where they should go next?
We map it out, the areas that we've been in the last 5 years. And yes, we do reach out. We're in the planning stages right now with the American Red Cross, so we don't have final details on it. They just, members of the Fire Marshal's office, or actually our public education specialist, he just met with American Red Cross about 2-3 weeks ago to start. But we have a map. We've mapped it out where we've been in the last 5 years, so we make sure it's being fair for all council districts. But I have not chosen, where we're going with that, what the next area will be. But once it's chosen, that council district will be notified.
Okay.
Councilmember Spadola has a hand up.
Okay. All right. Let me get.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Go ahead, Councilman Spadola.
Thank you. And Chief, if you could just keep the at-large members apprised as well and include them as you coordinate with the district members, that'd be appreciated.
Okay.
All right. Councilman.
Thank you.
No, I was going to say now, this program right here, the walkthrough, they really do a good job with the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide, because I know they did in the 3rd district and they did a very good job.
Yeah, the program we have established, before we even go out and install any smoke detectors, once that area is chosen, we canvass the area a week before. We have door hangers. We knock on everybody's door, let them know that we're going to be around installing smoke detectors, the following weekend. If they're interested, we give them our smoke detector hotline number. And if someone is not home at the home when we, go around the neighborhood, we leave a door hanger. And if they're interested, the number's there. We record it, and then we make sure when we go out there, we use the entire platoon on that day to do these installs. And I got to credit our department with this program because American Red Cross, the Northeast Corridor, has recognized us as one of their top partners.
Okay.
And we've done a stellar job, and it is important. We take it very serious. So we're looking forward to the next one.
Okay.
Good job on that.
Yeah, I said they've been through quite a few of the communities in my district as well.
Next slide, please. WPD, WFD, Youth Academy. The program has been very successful for both departments, allowing us to interact with youth ages 13 to 17, and we're providing insight into careers as police officers or firefighters. The 2025 Public Safety Academy is scheduled for June 16th to begin and ending with a graduation on June 27th, 2025. Applications will open up soon. I know we will, on our social media account, along with WPD's social media outlets, we'll be advertising along with the city website. This is a partnership between, police, fire, along with Chase Bank, which has been nothing but very supportive of this program.
Okay.
Next slide, please. Our Fire Explorers program. Program is doing very well. It's been very successful. It's been around for quite some time. Program provides young men and women ages 14 through 20 from the city of Wilmington with up-close, hands-on experience for fire and emergency medical services career. Currently, we have 10 explorers are actively involved in the program. Anyone wanting further information, our program coordinator is Battalion Chief Robert Pryor, and he can be reached at rpryor@wfd.wilmingtonde.gov. Also, on the city website, when you bring up the city website, you go to the bars on the top, and it says, "How can I do?" There's a drop down and directs you right to the Fire Explorers program that you can complete an application.
Okay. All right, Chief. So I wasn't aware that the age group is from 14 to 20.
Yes.
Are you doing any recruitment of any of your 18 to 20-year-olds actually gotten straight through to the fire?
Right. No, I was getting ready to say, this has also been a recruitment tool for us, because currently on our department, we have 8 of our, I call them Explorer alumni, that are currently on the fire department and have been on, ranging from 10 years to 4 years, all the way up to 14 years. And some are also in our officer ranks.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I did have a question. I did not know whether or not this is going to talk about that in here. No. So one of the questions that I did have, and I don't see that when we asked this, is the fact that I have noticed the past couple times that I've gone to the graduation that you guys have been having your academy with another city, which
Correct.
is my hometown.
Correct, Chester.
Yes.
Yes.
So how is that working, and how are we saving money, or is that what is that looking like?
It's just, they have their financial commitment for the academy. Mm-hmm. We provide for our recruits. Our last academy, almost a year ago, we did not partner with Upper Darby or Chester, and the reason being was they weren't hiring at that time.
Okay.
But we've had 2 academies where we have partnered with Chester and Upper Darby, and it's been very successful.
Okay. So who actually benefits the most from these dual academies?
Oh, everybody does. Because if they don't have the resources, or they don't have locations to do the training, where Wilmington, we have access to that. We have access to the Delaware State Fire School and their complexes, and it's been very convenient for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was just the question I was at the top of my head, and I couldn't remember whether or not I'd asked it. All right. Did you have anything? Okay. All right. You can go on to the next one.
Okay, diversity breakdown. What is the current diversity breakdown of the department, including leadership? Chief, white male. The deputy of operations is a white male. Our battalion chiefs, total of 8, 5 white males, 3 black males. Our captains, total of 8 white males, 1 black male, and 1 Afghanistanian male. Lieutenants, we have 15 white males, 5 black males, 2 Hispanic males. Our firefighter breakdown is 73 white males, 22 black males, 12 Hispanic males, 1 white female, 2 black females, and 2 Hispanic females.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask a question about going from one level to the next. Which ones actually do you have to test, and which ones are appointed?
The chief is appointed, deputy chiefs are appointed, battalion chiefs are appointed position. The testing positions are firefighter lieutenant and lieutenant to captain.
Okay. And so for lieutenant to captain, and so firefighter to lieutenant and then lieutenant to captain, do you find that you are getting because I definitely see the disparity in the numbers. Do you find that you're getting people to actually sign up for testing?
That is one of our difficulties, is, trying to get a diverse group of firefighters, male and female, to participate in the testing.
Is the testing at a cost? Is there
Yes,
a cost?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We do the testing every 2 years. It's conducted by a private vendor. It's a pretty substantial cost. I think last year or 2 years ago, let's see, this is 25, 24, in the budget was like approximately $72,000. And we have since, we're changing vendors, and we're going with another vendor, which will be proposed in this upcoming budget cycle which is actually going to be over close to $120,000.
So 72,000 is what we actually pay these vendors to be available to do the testing.
Yes, ma'am.
What actually is the cost to our firefighters to actually take the test?
There's no cost.
That's the question I was
Okay,
asking.
yeah, there's no cost, ma'am.
Okay.
We provide that every 2 years. That's built into our budget to put on the promotional process.
Okay. Is there any type of encouragement, especially for some of our firefighters and lieutenants who have been in the same space for more than however many years? Is there like, when you look at the testing, when I look at the testing, how many years has a person been at one stage before they think it may be time for them to consider moving up to the next level?
I mean, that's solely on that individual. If they decide they want to progress through the ranks, I mean, they could be a lieutenant for 2 years and the test comes up again, you know, now they're eligible to take it, you know, take the captain's exam. It's solely on that individual.
Okay. And so if you've actually taken the test and passed the test, is there any type of weight to get, like say you've taken the test as a lieutenant to become a captain, is there a weight to then be placed in that role?
Yes, it's what we call a banded system, very similar to what Wilmington Police Department has. They take a written examination and then they have what we call an oral assessment, which is, you know, we have outside, it's a vendor who supplies the assessors. They go through administrative issue that they have to handle, personnel issue, along with a tactical problem that they have to perform. And from that, there's a composite score, and with that composite score, the vendor performs all the analytics and individuals are placed into bands. And it's the first band, those are the ones that are eligible at the time. We don't move on to the second band until that first band is exhausted.
Okay, so, all right, so it sounds to me that even if a person's actually completed the test and whatever, all those things that you just spoke about, actually they did fairly on, unless there's an actual opening at that time, they still have to remain there until
Correct.
an opening?
Correct.
All right, so that definitely see where people probably the frustration lies. Yeah, I can see where the
I mean,
frustration.
if we don't have the retirements at the officer rank, I mean, yes. I mean, a lot of us have all, you know, weathered that, I mean, to include myself many times.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see where the frustration.
Yeah, I was
Oh yeah, did you?
Yeah, I'm
did
going
you
to
ask a
follow
question?
up. No, I want to echo what you said. I can see where the frustration comes in too, especially when we are talking about the diversity training and, you know, we don't want to add this position, but then when you look at the diversity breakdown, it's definitely an issue in that department. I mean, I'm not an expert in it, but I can just look at the numbers and see why individuals, minorities in that department would be frustrated. Just looking at 73 white males, you're looking at 22 black males, 12 Hispanics, 2 females, black females, 2 black Hispanics, 15, these are 15 white lieutenants, 5 black males, 2 Hispanics, 8 white captains, 1 black male, 5 white chiefs, 3 black males, 1 white deputy, 1 white chief. I can see where it would be some frustration, especially with people trying to move up and you don't have the diversity training because you don't want to, there's no money in the position. And I only asked you about how many years you've been in this department for a reason, because if you've been in this position, if you've been working in the fire department and you've been in pretty good position for umpteen years and no one's taking a look at this or doing anything about it, I think I would be appalled to even say that I wouldn't be interested in trying to make some changes in this department, or at least try to give some training, just for everyone to be so callous about adding a diversity trainer or someone to come in and, talk to your platoon, your officers or your lieutenants or whatever, and to sit up here, I mean, I'm not blaming you per se, but just to think that this is okay, this has been a culture in this department that we have heard about. We receive emails and we hear the stories, and I think it's a shame because it is definitely something going on, and I don't know what it is, but it don't take a rock scientist to figure it out.
No.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So, no, not a problem. I didn't know whether anyone else had anything to say, but my thoughts are just a little different because when it comes to the firefighters, who are coming in is who's coming in. It's basically to be stuck. Are we looking at, because we're putting it as a band, as in who got on the list? It's basically once you get taken care of everything, then you're on this list or whatever. But we're not taking into consideration like all of the things that people are trying to do to make themselves appear to be, more prepared. Education, more training. Like, it's just, I got on the list first. We're not taking any of those other things into consideration is what I'm asking.
Well, when there's selections made, I mean, I'm not here to discuss, how we make these decisions, but obviously education is important.
Mm-hmm.
Seniority is already built into the scoring system.
Mm-hmm.
That's all taken into account when you look at the education, their experience when the decisions are made.
Okay. All right. All right. So, well, thank you for giving. I'm glad that we was able to get that breakdown because, like I stated, I'm just figuring out who actually went from appointed and through the testing. To me, appointments will always be a little bit, because you work with who you feel like you can work with. Mm-hmm. But testing is something a little different, and to test and not to be able to move forward, I can definitely understand where the frustration lies.
In the past, we've actually implemented a program to encourage others to take the test with practice how to take the written exam, mm-hmm. how to perform in the oral assessment portion of it. We have done that in the past, and we've done that. We've done it, I don't know, since I guess I became chief 4 years ago. We implemented that early on, and we have resources if somebody's interested. I mean, we're not, obviously we're going to try to offer the resources if they're there.
Have you eliminated or added any of these upper level positions? Has any been eliminated or added within, the past 10, 15 years? I just want to know whether or not they've all been like the same for like 20 years or more is what I'm asking.
Well, I mean,
those numbers.
This department's been had positions eliminated for many years, and that does include officers' positions. When I came on here, it was 196 firefighters. We're now authorized strength of 156. So I guess hopefully that answers the question. We've had a lot of cuts, or not cuts, eliminations, and they included officer positions.
Okay. All right. I didn't know whether or not anyone had any other questions. Okay. All right, good. All right, well, we can go ahead and go to the, I'm sorry.
President Congo.
Okay. All right, President Congo, your question.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you, Chief Looney, for your presentation. I guess what I have, got from this meeting tonight is there does seem to be like something kind of brewing, whether it's recent or it's been ongoing within the fire department. I mean, obviously, the majority of these questions did not come from council members, and they probably came from firefighters. So I know that it's our responsibility to speak on behalf of whoever we can help, and just to hear some of the answers kind of speaks volumes to maybe what they're experiencing, and for us not to make their concerns our priority is very concerning. And people always say you can tell your priorities by your budget, and if it is our priority to hire a diversity person, if that person covers multiple departments, I think we just put it in one position is not going to make or break the city. But I think it would go a long way into telling our constituents and most importantly our workers that we're serious about being inclusive and we're serious about being more diverse, and especially in our public safety departments. And so there was a lot said. There was a lot that wasn't said, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of very, very disappointed, honestly, in this meeting, in the conversation. It just seems like there's no lack of urgency behind any of the questions that were asked. And again, we didn't make these up. Like that, obviously, firefighters reached out to council members and said, "Hey, can you please ask these questions on behalf of us?" And why they're not comfortable doing it probably speaks volumes also. But I was expecting more. I was expecting better, and I think that it's our responsibility as council members to continue to ask these questions and to speak on behalf of whoever comes from whichever department. I just would hope that the leadership in those departments and the leadership in the administration can understand the frustrations of our workers. And especially, I mean, everybody is important. I don't want to put one department above another, but public safety, I think we really have to take a look at how we are, what the culture is, as I think Councilmember Oliver mentioned, what the culture is in our fire department. And then we wonder why we can't recruit. So, thank you, Madam Chair. Those are my comments.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Madam Chair, I'd like to follow up.
Oh, go ahead, Councilwoman Oliver.
Yeah, I'm just, President Congo, I'm glad you mentioned that none of these questions, or most of these questions, I'm not for sure, but weren't from council members. I don't want to reiterate everything you just said, but I think you hit it on the nose that evidently, that's why I said we receive emails, we receive phone calls, and so I don't want you to, take this personal. As he stated, when you're talking about public safety, we should be a little bit more concerned and, not take this so, I don't think the department chair or the administration should be so laxy-daisy about something as important as diversity training or hiring a person to assist with testing or whatever your suggestions, whatever it may be. But I think this is an ongoing conversation regarding the budget, regarding the position. And I just want to make that clear. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Oliver. Was there any other person that needed to speak?
No.
Okay. All right, so we still had 2 more slides. If you can go ahead and complete the rest of your presentation, Chief.
Deputy Chief's position, we currently have an opening in our Fire Prevention Division. The Deputy Chief of the City Fire Marshal. Currently, we have not filled this position. There was a delay in the fall of 2024 until the new administration took place, and I'm currently in the process of filling that position in the near future. I currently have assumed the role of Fire Marshal, and I'm assisted by the captain and lieutenant of the Fire Prevention Division.
Okay. Would you mind telling me where on the hierarchy would I see where the Deputy Chief Fire Marshal, whatever, would be on this breakdown? Would that be under just or alongside Deputy?
Yes, if I had a deputy, I would have named the Deputy of Fire Prevention. I would have included that, but since I do not have a deputy of the Fire Marshal's office currently, I did not add that to the breakdown list.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is it above battalion chief?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the executive staff.
Okay. And so when you look to fill the deputy fire marshal, it will be from the battalion chiefs?
It's an appointed position.
Okay. Okay, so it's an appointed position. All right. All right, so with that being stated, there's no way, you don't have to test into that position.
No, ma'am.
All right, so then It's not like a band thing that is
No, ma'am.
waiting. Okay.
Now, the battalion chiefs and the deputy chiefs are not in the banded promotional process. They are appointed positions.
Okay. All right. Well, I just would think that for those who've actually made it to captain and lieutenant, I will keep my fingers crossed that someone in that area who has been waiting for some time on those bands get a chance to operate in that space. Because if everything else is stagnant, having one of those officer openings would actually be able to move some things up this list.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. All right, and then is it just the last one? Or are we doing that?
Yes, this is
Okay.
the last slide, if we can move forward.
Yeah.
EMS update. St. Francis has given notice to the city they will no longer provide EMS service starting beginning of July 2025. We are considering a plan to bring the service in-house, which will be presented in the WFD budget hearing in April. In the meantime, the service will continue without interruption. We rely on our mutual aid.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Okay. You say I'm sorry, I just want, you say you're relying on the mutual who?
The mutual aid and
Oh.
the St. Francis, because they're still putting units in service as per the contract. They're having staffing issues, and right now, our mutual aid, the Newcastle County departments have been providing the mutual aid to serve, or assisting with providing an ambulance.
So outside entities
Yes,
are helping
ma'am.
out. Okay, got you. All right. Councilman Oliver, your question?
No, that answered my question. I'm sorry, I was going to ask about the Newcastle County, were they helping out?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
That's, thank you, sir.
All right. So, and this is happening in the beginning of July, but you said that we should not suffer any type of interruption. So, all right. Well, City of Wilmington, your guys will still be safe because looks like we won't have any type of halt in our service of the ambulance. Thank goodness. All right. So you looks like you completed your presentation. I do thank you for taking the time to come back out to do one for the month of March. Did someone have? Okay.
When you're ready to do public.
Okay, I was just about to. Yeah, I said. So I was just saying thank you so much for doing the presentation. I didn't know whether or not there was anyone who actually had any questions, because we did stop throughout the presentation. If anyone had any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. No.
Thank
All
you.
right. Yes, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Cawthray. I am the president of Local 1590. We are the collective bargaining unit for the Wilmington firefighters. So I sat here and I listened to everything that was going on, and I know the chief's not able to answer a lot of these questions because sometimes it's contractual, sometimes he just can't. But as the union president, I hear a lot out in the company, and recruitment and retention. It's a big an issue. And I will let you know that the biggest issue is the current shift that we work. We work at 24/48, 24 hours on, 48 hours off. We get a Kelly day every 6 days, or every 6 tours. We work 2,448 hours. This isn't anything that the chief did. He came after this was already done. Mike Przicki and Mike Donahue changed our shift. He forced it upon us, and we went to court, and we lost. So now, under the 2472, we were at 2,184 hours. We are now at 2,448 hours, which is 268 hours more than prior. That is the biggest obstacle we are facing. Our guys and gals are exhausted, they're fatigued, mentally drained. And so you talk about, since we went to the 24/48, we've had, since July of 2020, 67 members have left. 34 had the time to retire. That means they had 20 plus years. 33 did not. I believe that out of those 33, 20 plus have gone to other departments. And we're not even competing with DC and Baltimore City. We're competing with Newcastle County, who offers a better schedule. The schedule is what is the deterrent. We are our biggest cheerleaders, but we are also our biggest detractors. You have 156 guys and gals, that are not happy with everything that's going on right now. And unfortunately, we have to go through the bargaining process to get that changed. And that being said, it seems as though it's being delayed by the city. We met on February 3rd. We were canceled on February 25th. We were canceled on March 6th. They never sat down with us. We gave them proposals for 10 different things: reduction in hours, pay, everything that our people are looking for. We haven't sat down with them again. Again, not saying it's Chief Looney's fault. It's coming from the city. Sorry, I have a couple things here. If you're looking for numbers on retirees, you were talking about diversity. Out of the 67 that left, 28 have been minorities. And 13 were from retirees, 15 were minorities that went to other departments. Talking about the EMS, I see my time is up. Talking about the EMS and the ambulance. What was not relayed was there is a plan through the fire department for us to staff these ambulances. I don't know if you were aware, we have been made aware that that's what is going to happen. You're putting more burden on the Wilmington Fire Department members. We do suppression already. This is also through the collective bargaining agreement. This is something that hasn't been provided in at least 15 years, and that was taking 2 people off of one first due apparatus and having them ride an ambulance. Now you're going to supply 5 ambulances with 2 people, 10 extra people a tour. How are you going to get these numbers? Are these questions being asked? So what is being relayed to you sometimes is not the full truth. And I'm saying, and not the chief's fault. I know he has a boss, and he has to listen to his boss, and there's financial constraints. But as a union president, I can't sit up here and not get upset with the way that my people are being treated. It's frustrating, and things can change. It just needs to be happen at the collective bargaining table, and it just doesn't seem as though the city is doing that right now. Let me see if there's anything else. I'm sorry. And on that note, we are having a gentleman come and speak on our behalf. The union is paid for. His name's James Gearing. He's from behind the shield. He comes and he speaks and he advocates on behalf of the 24/72 shift and its impact on cities and its impact on the firefighters. So this is we are going to send something out to everybody. We have a date. We don't have it in place yet, but it will be April 29th at 7 o'clock. We're going to invite as many of city council that wants to come. We're going to invite the mayor. We're going to invite the chief if they want to come and listen to the information. That's all we can do is get the information out to everybody. So thank you for your time. I don't know if you have any questions or if you're allowed to ask questions, but the union's always available. I can give you my email number or email address and we could talk and give you the information that you need.
If you signed up at the back, we'll be able to get you.
Oh, I didn't put my email address, but I will.
Please do.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. President Congo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to have a question for the union president. So I just want to make sure that I heard him correctly. Is he saying that the proposal for covering our city ambulance system, is he saying that he doesn't think that's going to be safe or it's not practical? Or it's going to put too much burden on like the current firefighters?
It's going to be a burden for our firefighters without a doubt. But again, we're here to provide a service. How does that service look? Is it under a different shift? Is it with more money? We don't know. Again, we have to sit at the bargaining table for that. But just to let you know, it's going to be a burden on our members. We understand we have to provide a service. That's what we're here for. But how we go about it, we had no input or There was no collaboration between the union and the chief on how this would look. It's his proposal with the deputy chief, and we're told this is what's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to last till July 1st. So, does that answer your question, sir?
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate your candidness.
All right, thank you, President Congo. Did you have anything to follow up?
No, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay. All right, was there any other comments from the public?
Marshall, last night.
Okay. All right. Ms. Basnight.
Yes, Chair. I just wanted just to mention for the record so that council members know that the FOP contracts no longer come before council for approval, which was an opinion that was done by the law department. So I just wanted to, just remind council that these multi-year agreements no longer come before council. Even what was referenced from back under the 108th session under Mayor Przicki. I just want to share that for the record.
Thank you. Madam, I'd like to make a comment.
Councilman, I'm sorry, Ms. Basnight, did you have anything else to add?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Oliver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think we need to counsel Chief of Staff or President, we need to send a note over there. That was unheard of, that council members don't look at contracts. And that was under Mike Przicki's administration, which was very toxic. Never heard of that in 100 and something years. The council don't look at contracts. The contracts are services for the city of Wilmington. You're talking about trash. You're talking about firefighters. We're talking about what you're talking about now, which is services for the city, which we vote on the budget. So hopefully we won't go through that this year. But Ms. Basnight, I'm glad you brought that up so I can make that statement publicly that was a toxic administration. That's the way I felt about it. That anyone that would say council doesn't look at contracts it wasn't right, and I said it then and I say it now. And for whoever made that decision, and for the law department to send us something as such, I thought it was toxic then, and I still think it's toxic now. And some of the individuals who worked under that administration are still toxic. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Councilwoman Oliver. So I actually just wanted to state, so Ms. Basnight said FOP. So I'm sorry, I'm under the impression that is the Fraternal Order of Police. So, but you're just stating that once the police, we weren't able to see the police contracts that went along with the rest of the contracts. I'm believing that, hold up, would the firefighters be the IAFF or something like that? Okay. So once we no longer were able to do the police, then no contracts came up. Okay. All right, I just wanted to make certain that was clear. All right, so if there is no one else who had any questions about or concerns or comments about the presentation that we just received, okay, we're looking like we're good. Okay, all right. So well, thank you, Chief Looney, for I know that there was, like I said, there were still some things that I really wanted to try to get worked out, and I know that you were not either permitted or given the information that you needed in order to get that, bring that before us on the committee. But that does not mean that you and I cannot have that conversation. I don't like to do the offline thing, but there's still answers that that we may need. So we're gonna have to work something out so we can actually have more information so that we can judge accordingly and vote accordingly. All right. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone for attending, and I thank you so much, Chief, for being patient and making certain that you came back and presented with a nice PowerPoint. I thank you very much. There's someone else up there? Okay. President Congo.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This question is for Chief Looney. I'm not sure if he can speak on his behalf or behalf of the administration, but I know he said that there is a proposal for the firefighters to continue to take over and help out with the ambulance service. Is there still an opportunity for an RFP to go out?
An RFP? Is that something? I mean, I can tell you this, that we only had one reply, and we had to put an RFP out twice, and it was only one company, St. Francis.
Yeah, we can certainly try. We can gauge interest in the market, but at this point, we, like the chief said, we did issue 2 RFPs and only had one response from St. Francis the last time we issued one.
All right, thank you. But there is an opportunity still?
Yeah, we can certainly look into that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, President Congo. Actually, I just wanted to make note that I believe the RFPs actually went out last year. I don't know whether or not we actually did one for 2025.
No, it was for last year, man.
Right.
You're correct.
Yeah. So that is, a good suggestion to see whether or not there's any takers. Whether or not there's anyone to respond, I think that it would be at least proactive of us to try.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So as I stated, if there's no one else, any other questions? No one from the public have anything else to state, or none of my council colleagues? All right, I said then we're gonna bring this meeting to a close. I thank you so much for the presentation that is made, and also all those who actually came in and spoke on, about some of the things that we discussed today. Tonight was a very, even though we didn't get all of the questions that we wanted answered, it was still very informative, because I'm realizing now where some of those frustrations lie. I think I have more information on how that works. So I do thank you for coming before us. All right, so I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting. But President Congo,
He's on there. He's on there. So move.
Okay. I don't think he counts quorum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He what?
But you just have to adjourn.
Okay. All right then. Well, I guess I'll second then her motion. All right. I said, well, thank you. I said the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming out this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.